Spooky mates of YouTube, Marcel from Aussie Horror here, and in today's video we're going to be looking at a lesser known true crime story. This one is of Jung, who was inspired to kill simply because she wanted to feel what it was like to take a life. So if that sounds good to you, let's dive right into this story. A life sentence was handed down by a South Korean court to Jung, a 23-year-old true crime enthusiast who confessed to killing a stranger out of sheer curiosity, according to authorities. Described as an unemployed loner who lived with her grandfather, Jung had an intense fascination with crime shows and novels and scored highly on psychopath tests, police said. So that's probably not too dissimilar to us here on YouTube that are interested in these sorts of topics as well, in all honesty. Prosecutors had sought the death penalty, a request typically reserved for the gravest of offences. Jung's meticulous planning included contacting more than 50 individuals, 50, particularly favouring women, and inquiring whether they conducted tutoring sessions at home. In May, she posed as the mother of a high school student in need of English lessons and contacted the 26-year-old victim, whose identity has been withheld by police, residing in the city of Busan. On the day of the crime, Jung arrived at the instructor's doorstep, dressed in a school uniform she had purchased online, prosecutors disclosed. Upon gaining entry, she launched a frenzied assault, stabbing the woman more than 100 times, persisting even after the victim had succumbed to her injuries. Just think about that. This woman took another person's life and continued to stab them after they were dead. Pretty horrendous. Following this gruesome act, she dismembered the victim's body and transported some remains via taxi to a remote parkland area near a river north of Busan. Her arrest came after a taxi driver reported to the authorities about a passenger who had discarded a blood-soaked suitcase in the woods. During sentencing, a judge at the Busan District Court emphasized that the killing had instilled fear in society, illustrating the potential for individuals to become victims arbitrarily and fostering a pervasive sense of distrust in other people. Jung, who admitted to the crime in June, appealed for a lighter sentence, citing hallucinations and other mental disorders at the time of the incident. However, the court dismissed her plea, citing the premeditated and methodical nature of the crime and the inconsistency of her statements to the police, which essentially just means that her story didn't line up with the facts presented to the court. Ultimately, she acknowledged that her fascination with committing murder had been influenced by crime shows and television programs. And it should be noted that while the death penalty remains in South Korea's legal framework, no execution has been carried out since 1997. Jung was only 23 when she committed that murder, and it serves as a particularly grim reminder of how much potential she had if she had have applied herself in any meaningful way. 23 years old. When I was 23 years old, the whole world was at my feet. I mean, I'm not that much older now and the world is still at my feet. Imagine what she could have accomplished being in such an advanced place like South Korea. It's sad and it's horrifying, and you really hate to see young people throw their entire lives away by taking another person's life. I actually think this is the perfect example of somebody that already had mental health problems and then they allowed their interest in true crime and the more grim aspects of humanity to influence their decisions too much. Here on YouTube and in life in general, we have this clear distinction and separation between what we're sort of interested in, those grim and morbid aspects of life, versus our real lives, and not having access to good mental health institutions is obviously going to be a detriment, especially when somebody is interested in true crime and horror in general. Anyways, I just wanted to say thank you for getting to this point in the video, and another huge thank you to everybody that's been subscribing to the channel lately since my last 2 true crime videos. I'm having a lot of fun making these, and I'm also having a lot of fun interacting with you guys in the comments. So if you like this video, don't forget to like it, and if you like this content and want to see more, please consider subscribing to the channel. And until the next video, my name is Marcel from Aussie Horror, and I will catch you guys around.